The bearded vulture is a large charismatic raptor that is critically endangered in southern Africa. There are only 350 left in the population, and it's a small isolated population that occurs in the Maluti-Drakensberg Mountains of Lesotho and South Africa. The purpose of the Bearded Vulture Recovery Programme is to recover the population of bearded vultures so that they continue to deliver important ecosystem services and the ecosystem value that they have.
This project takes us across borders, and we're doing a lot of extension work into Lesotho, which is part of the Bearded Vulture range. And we're collaborating with our Lesotho colleagues, spreading awareness, running some education campaigns, and also developing a very new safe feeding site.
The benefit of having a safe feeding site for the vultures is to provide and mitigate for the scarce food resources of the birds. Safe food, we can say, is fresh bones and carcasses that are not poisoned in any form.
So it is very important for us to get the word out there that if farmers do put out food for scavengers, such as vultures, that they make sure that the food is free of environmental toxins such as lead. And it's only that way that we can ensure that our vulture populations are getting healthy food, and not only for themselves, but also for the chicks that they are provisioning for in their nests.
We can also reduce the risk of the animals being hit by power lines through feeding them the safe feeding site here.
For power lines and for wind energy infrastructure in general, Central Incident Register, which is the database that we have, it's quite important to make sure that you identify those areas, to make sure that people know where to report incidents. And by reporting those incidents, that's the only way we can investigate. And that's the only way that we can make recommendations to the utilities, to Eskom in South Africa.
Wind farms, if not built in the right place, could pose a significant new threat to bearded vultures. We know this because we could use 10 years of tracking data to build a detailed habitat model. And that model has demonstrated that bearded vultures select the same habitat that wind farmers do.
Although we only have about 10 incident reports in the national database, we could be getting more, but we are missing them. Just to say that in terms of bearded vulture, it's mainly collisions because they don't really sit on the structures. But we must understand also that the species occur in high altitude areas where it's remote and people don't necessarily get there, even though I'm saying anyone can report the incidents. And some people also don't know where to report. And 10 incidents for a critically endangered species is it's quite a lot. And if we can do something in terms of mitigating those collisions, it's quite something.
Vultures face lots of challenges currently, so the data will help us to understand more and make more informed decisions about the conservation of these species.
The more in-depth our monitoring, the more we can understand population trends, population statuses, and particularly around the nesting monitoring. The added value to the monitoring program is to support the breeding program.
We are the only facility so far within the recovery program that hold these birds, and the mandate was to collect 32 genetically distinct birds, or different from different nests, and we're nearly there. We're on 27. Initially, when they're very young, they fed with a puppet behind screens. These birds will be around nearly 40 years. So it'll go from our lifetime into our next generation. And that's where education is really important.
A first line of defense for us is the education and awareness. There are many beliefs and myths regarding vultures, and our targeted audience in these awarenesses have been traditional hill associations, it's been the Department of Education, youth, and other stakeholders. We were privileged to also interact with traditional hill associations. I just enjoyed their presence.
Re sebedisa dintsukobo ho etsa meriana. Dintsukobo re di reka ho bashanyana ba theoha motebong ba disana. Re ka etsa kgothaletso nakong e re leng tulong ya dingaka ho fanana ka maele hore re shebisane hore ntsukobo e tla fela jwale re lekana hore re sebedise ditlamatlama.
People need to be educated, or we need to do the awareness to different people, because some of them, they really lack knowledge about conserving the bearded vulture. If they know that it exists, they don't know why do we need it in our lives. Before they could know anything about bearded vultures, they used to kill them. But now, since we have started this awareness, they have changed.
The seed has been sown. They are there now to water it and to grow it.
We need more investment that is duty of care, that they go beyond what is required by the national legislation.
So we really are working with the best of our capacity, but we do need support. We need support in funding, we need support in just custodianship.
I want to carry on protecting them and then just make sure that my grandkids can see this amazing and unique bird that we have.
Because they are the flagship of the mountain kingdoms. Honestly, it's a project of hope.
These are some of the species that, if not conserved, could sadly go extinct. So we are calling for a joint effort to everyone. It must be everyone's business. Everyone must be an ambassador in their own communities and preaching the message about the importance of the bearded vultures.